What is a shadow? And how do I make one in Photoshop so it'll show up on different backgrounds and still look right? These mysterious and beautiful contrasts between the presence of light and absence can be tricky or frustrating to properly simulate, either based on a photograph or made from scratch. This won't be the whole story, or even most of it, but it'll help you in your journey making shadows in Photoshop. Wow, this is getting really dramatic. Is this too much? I mean, why is it still getting closer? Let's get over to Photoshop and I want this to stop. Like now. Like, no, go away. Okay, take this picture of a potted plant. A simple object with an uncomplicated shadow on a plain background. And what we want is to separate those three elements into their own editable layers. And that's how we'll arrange those elements in Photoshop: background, shadow, and foreground. So starting at the beginning with our unedited image, our first step, as with many product photos, will be to make a selection of the foreground object. Magic wand, lasso, quick selection, pen tool, hell, even the magnetic lasso tool. Only you know the degree to which your selection needs to be accurate, and I trust you'll choose the appropriate method, which is usually the pen tool. It's not that other methods are bad, just that the pen tool is better. Well, at least I like to think so, and many people don't use it, and so I get to feel superior by saying it's the better method. Again, use the method you deem appropriate. Just remember that a quality selection will save you more trouble in the end. With your selection made, now it's time to make and arrange your layers. Start by unlocking the background layer so we can make changes. Next, make a group. Apply your selection as a mask to the group, and then drop your picture in. Next, make a solid color layer set to white and drag it to the bottom of your layers. At this point, we've got our background and we've got our foreground, and now it's time to make our shadow. Shift-click the mask covering your main subject to reveal the original image. Then Command-click the RGB channel to make a selection based on the light and dark values of the image. Now, make another solid color layer set to black, and since we already had a selection active, that selection was automatically applied to our new layer. Shift-click our main subject mask to make it active again. And finally, select the mask on the shadow layer and press Command-I to invert it. And now with a few small tweaks, we'll be done with our image. First up, you can see here when I turn the shadow on and off, it's affecting some areas outside of the actual shadow, so we'll need to clean that up. Option-click the mask to be able to edit it directly. Our goal in this phase is to turn the darker areas to pure black without overly affecting the edges of our shadow. A good way to start is by adding some contrast to this image by pressing Command-M and making a simple S-curve. And then follow that up by brushing black into all of the areas that are not your shadow. A little bit of burning will also help you in this process. Option-click your mask again to go back to your regular view, and turn it off and on again to see the shadow's effect. Notice how the shadow layer is not affecting areas outside of the shadow anymore. And there you have it. From here, it's just simply cleaning up your shadow to make sure there are no artifacts from the original image left in it, and then maybe just adjusting the overall density to your liking. Personally, I like the flexibility of putting that shadow layer in its own group with another mask on top of it. That way I can brush black or white to adjust the density as I see fit. And there you have it. That's my process for making a shadow for, your typical product photo on a plain background. One thing I will add, however, is that doing it all by hand for every image can take a while. So I made an action, and you can use it too. You'll still have to make your primary selection, but this action will build out your general file structure. It's got your background, your shadow layer, it put the image inside the foreground folder with a mask on it, and it even makes a color correction folder and retouching folder for generally cleaning up and adjusting your image. And the main thing left for you to do is to clean up the shadow mask like I showed you previously. Kinda nifty, huh?